In an era where fake news spreads faster than facts, and clickbait often outshouts credibility, one question haunts the Filipino public. Who can we still trust? Every scroll through social media feels like a battlefield. Truth versus distortion, integrity versus influence, journalism versus noise. The lines blur so easily that opinions masquerade as news, and algorithms decide what's real. Yet amid this chaos, there remains a rare breed of journalists who never traded integrity for popularity. People whose words still mean something. These are the storytellers who refuse to kneel before power, the anchors who didn't bend with trends, the reporters who earned respect not through followers, but through facts. Their credibility was not built overnight. It was forged in years of fieldwork, sleepless deadlines, and standing their ground when silence would have been safer. Today, when truth is under siege, their names remind us that journalism, real journalism, is still alive. These 10 Filipinos have become the moral compass of modern media. Voices of reason in an age of confusion, beacons of intellect in a sea of noise, and most importantly, defenders of truth in a world that's forgotten what it means to listen. Hello everyone, welcome back to FunFact. If you enjoy learning something new every time you watch, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next episode. Here are the top 10 most credible Filipino journalists and broadcasters. The ones who kept the light on when the truth was hardest to see. Number 10 is Ces Drilon. Ces is not just a journalist. She is the face of fearless Filipino reportage. She graduated from the University of the Philippines Diliman with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication Research, where she balanced her studies with work. A glimpse of the determination that would later define her career. At ABS-CBN, she became one of the network's most respected senior correspondents and anchors, admired for her precision, courage, and insight. Her reports dug deep into corruption, human rights abuses, and government anomalies. Her range extended to business journalism, serving as a correspondent for The World Tonight, and co-hosting Usapang Business, where she translated complex economic issues with clarity and authority. In 2008, she survived a harrowing kidnapping in Sulu and returned to the newsroom not weakened, but strengthened. That ordeal transformed her into a living symbol of bravery and moral endurance in journalism. She has received numerous honors from the Catholic Mass Media Awards, CMMA, and the Philippine Movie Press Club, PMPC, for excellence in investigative and broadcast journalism. Her work has also been cited by international media for her professionalism and resilience. Ces embodies what it means to be a Filipino journalist: intelligent, courageous, and steadfast in the face of danger. Star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5 stars. Investigative depth, 4 stars. Modern relevance, 3 stars. Social impact and influence, 4 stars. Weighted score, 4.15 out of 5.00. Number 9 is Jeff Canoy. Jeff is not just a reporter. He is the storyteller of survival. He graduated from Ateneo de Manila University with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication, where his sharp curiosity and narrative instinct already set him apart. As a student, he was recognized with the Raul Locsin Award for Student Journalism, an early sign of his lifelong commitment to truth-telling. At ABS-CBN, Jeff built his reputation in the field, not from behind a desk, but from the front lines of conflict, disaster, and recovery. He covered the Marawi siege, the Zamboanga conflict, and Typhoon Yolanda, always choosing to highlight the human spirit behind every tragedy. His reporting blends precision with empathy, turning every headline into a story that honors both suffering and strength. Jeff's documentaries and long-form reports have received international acclaim. He won a Gold World Medal at the New York Festival's TV and Film Awards in 2018, a Bronze World Medal in 2020, and a Gold Dolphin at the Cannes Corporate Media and TV Awards, distinctions that placed him among the world's finest field journalists. He also received a Carlos Palanca Memorial Award for Literature in 2018, proving that his storytelling brilliance extends beyond the camera and into the written word. In an era of noise and disinformation, Jeff stands as proof that truth, when told with heart, still moves nations. Star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5 stars. Investigative depth, 4 stars. Modern relevance, 4 stars. Social impact and influence, 4 stars. Weighted score, 4.35 out of 5.00. Number 8 is Luchi Cruz-Valdes. Luchi is not just a reporter. She is the conscience of investigative broadcast journalism. She graduated from the University of the Philippines Diliman with a degree in broadcast communication, where her diligence and intellect quickly set her apart as one of the university's most promising media minds. Early in her career, she joined the Probe Team, the country's pioneering investigative news program, where she helped redefine journalism as a public service, exposing corruption, human rights violations, and abuses of power. Her documentaries have earned respect for their depth, fairness, and unflinching honesty. When others softened the truth, Luchi sharpened it. After years in the field, she became head of news and public affairs at TV5, leading its transformation into a credible, independent voice in Philippine media. Under her watch, investigative journalism thrived again, rigorous, ethical, and fearless. Luchi has received honors from the Catholic Mass Media Awards and the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, and her work has been cited internationally for advancing transparency and accountability in Southeast Asia. Her leadership, integrity, and persistence have shaped generations of Filipino journalists, proving that courage in the newsroom can be just as powerful as courage in the streets. Star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5 stars. Investigative depth, 5 stars. Modern relevance, 3 stars. Social impact and influence, 4 stars. Weighted score, 4.40 out of 5.00. Number 7 is Ed Lingao. Ed is not just a journalist. He is the soldier of truth in Philippine media. He graduated from the University of the Philippines Diliman, where his sharp political insight and uncompromising integrity were already evident from his early years at the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism. Ed became one of the country's fiercest truth-tellers, a reporter unafraid to challenge authority and expose what others would rather conceal. His body of work spans decades of fearless coverage, from the war zones of Mindanao to the halls of Congress. As senior correspondent and news anchor for TV5, he has consistently elevated the standard of public affairs reporting. Ed's documentaries on corruption, military abuse, and human rights violations have become required viewing for those who believe journalism must serve the people, not power. He has been honored multiple times by the Catholic Mass Media Awards, the Center for Media Freedom and Responsibility, and the Asian Broadcasting Union for Excellence in Investigative and Broadcast Journalism. To this day, Ed remains one of the few voices in the industry who combine intellect, field experience, and moral courage. Possible star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5 stars. Investigative depth, 5 stars. Modern relevance, 3 stars. Social impact and influence, 4 stars. Weighted score, 4.40 out of 5.00. Number 6 is Solita Winnie Monsod. Winnie is not just an economist. She is the nation's moral compass in media. She graduated cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts in Economics from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, where she later became one of its most beloved professors and fiercest intellects. She pursued graduate and doctoral studies in economics at the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League powerhouse, earning her master's degree and completing the coursework for her PhD before returning to the Philippines. Winnie served as Director General of the National Economic and Development Authority. As a professor, she trained generations of the country's top economists, many of whom now shape government policy, banking, and academia. She also became part of the UP School of Economics think tank, a small circle of the nation's most respected economic minds, known for its fearless policy analysis and independence. In media, Winnie brought intellect to the mainstream, from debate with Mare at Pare to Bawal ang Pasaway, kay Maring Winnie, using her platform to teach economics with wit, honesty, and moral force. She is a multi-awarded journalist, honored by UP and various civic and media groups for her integrity and influence. Feared by the corrupt, respected by the honest, and trusted by millions, Winnie Monsod is the embodiment of intellect guided by conscience, the economist who made truth both accessible and unshakable. Star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5 stars. Investigative depth, 4 stars. Modern relevance, 4 stars. Social impact and influence, 5 stars. Weighted score, 4.55 out of 5.00. Number 5 is Howie Severino. Howie is not just a journalist. He is the voice of conscience in Philippine documentary storytelling. He earned his Bachelor of Arts in History, magna cum laude, from Tufts University, and his Master of Arts in Environment, Development, and Policy from the University of Sussex in the United Kingdom. A scholar, writer, and filmmaker, Howie began his career as a print journalist before joining the trailblazing Probe team, where he helped define the language of investigative documentaries in the country. At GMA Network, he co-founded Eyewitness, one of the longest-running and most awarded documentary programs in Asia. His films have tackled everything from public health to political abuse, environment to human rights. Howie has received international honors including the George Foster Peabody Award, the Japan Prize for Educational Media, and several New York Festivals medals, alongside multiple local distinctions from the Catholic Mass Media Awards and Philippine Broadcast Guild. He also became editor-in-chief of GMA News Online and vice president for professional development at the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, mentoring new generations of reporters to chase the truth with rigor and compassion. Howie Severino's career is a testament that journalism, when guided by conscience and intellect, becomes both a public service and a national art. Star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5 stars. Investigative depth, 5 stars. Modern relevance, 4 stars. Social impact and influence, 4 stars. Weighted score, 4.60 out of 5.00. Number 4 is Karen Davila. Kara is not just a journalist. She is the storyteller of the Filipino soul. She earned her Bachelor of Arts in Broadcast Communication, cum laude, from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and later completed her master's degree in Philippine Studies from the same university, a testament to her lifelong commitment to learning and truth. At GMA Network, Kara quickly rose to become one of the country's most respected documentary journalists, producing stories that humanized poverty, injustice, and the struggles of ordinary Filipinos. Her work redefined investigative storytelling, bridging intellect and empathy, exposing realities often ignored by mainstream media. Her documentary, Ambulanciang de Pa, earned the George Foster Peabody Award, one of the world's most prestigious honors in broadcast journalism. She also received the UNICEF Child Rights Award for Celda Inocente, was named one of the 10 outstanding young men, and recognized as one of the outstanding women in the nation's service. Her documentaries have also received medals from the New York festivals and the U.S. International Film and Video Festival. Star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5. Investigative depth, 5. Modern relevance, 4.75. Social impact and influence, 4.5. Final weighted score, 4.81 out of 5.00. Number 3 is Atom Araullo. Atom is not just a reporter. He is a genius in his own right, a physics wizard, and the modern face of credible field journalism. He graduated magna cum laude from the University of the Philippines Diliman with a degree in applied physics, a rare academic path that sharpened his analytical mind and disciplined approach to storytelling. His brilliance in science, combined with natural curiosity, made him one of the most intellectually versatile journalists of his generation. Atom began as a youth advocate and later joined ABS-CBN, where his coverage of Typhoon Yolanda, the Marawi conflict, and countless humanitarian stories established him as one of the country's most trusted field correspondents. His calm, intelligent delivery during times of national crisis made him a household name. Now with GMA Network, he continues to produce documentaries through the Atom Araullo specials and Eyewitness, where his investigative precision and empathy merge to tell the deeper truth behind the headlines. Star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5. Investigative depth, 5. Modern relevance, 4.75. Social impact and influence, 4.75. Weighted score, 4.88 out of 5.00. Number 2 is Karen Davila. Karen is not just a broadcaster. She is the country's voice of reason in an era of noise and disinformation. She graduated cum laude from the University of the Philippines Diliman with a Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communication, where her intellect, drive, and eloquence already marked her as a standout student. At ABS-CBN, she rose from a young field reporter to one of the network's most respected anchors and interviewers, hosting flagship programs like The Correspondence and Head Start on ANC. Her career is defined by courage, including her fearless reports exposing corruption in multi-billion peso flood control projects that reached the highest levels of Congress. Her voice became a rallying point for accountability and integrity in public service. Over the years, Karen has earned numerous distinctions: the 10 Outstanding Young Men, TOAM Award for Broadcast Journalism, the Outstanding Women in the Nation's Service, Towns Award, the UNICEF Child Rights Award, multiple New York Festivals medals, and the Asian Academy Creative Award for Best News Presenter. In 2023, she was named the UN Women Philippines National Goodwill Ambassador, extending her influence beyond journalism. Karen Davila remains the embodiment of modern Filipino journalism. Sharp, fearless, and principled, a journalist whose voice continues to cut through the noise with clarity and truth. Star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5. Investigative depth, 5. Modern relevance, 5. Social impact and influence, 4.75. Weighted score, 4.94 out of 5. Number 1 is Jessica Soho. Jessica is not just a broadcaster. She is the gold standard of Philippine journalism. She graduated from the University of the Philippines Diliman with a degree in mass communication, where she was recognized for her diligence, intellect, and exceptional storytelling instincts. Beginning her career as a news researcher at GMA Network, Jessica rose through the ranks to become its most trusted journalist and flagship anchor. Her name has become synonymous with credibility and excellence. Through Kapuso Mo, Jessica Soho, KMJS, she has turned human stories into cultural treasures, blending investigative rigor with empathy and wit. Her work consistently unites millions of Filipinos every week, across social classes and generations. Jessica is the first Filipino journalist to win a Peabody Award, one of the highest distinctions in global broadcast journalism. She has also received the British Fleet Journalism Award, Asian Television Award for Best News and Current Affairs Presenter, and more than 300 honors from both local and international institutions, an unmatched record in Philippine media. Under her leadership, GMA's news division became the benchmark of integrity and storytelling. Her discipline, fairness, and humility have inspired thousands of young reporters to pursue journalism not as a career, but as a calling. Jessica Soho remains the living symbol of trust in Filipino media, a journalist whose voice carries both the weight of truth and the warmth of humanity. Star ratings: integrity and public trust, 5. Investigative depth, 5. Modern relevance, 5. Social impact and influence, 5. Weighted score, 5 out of 5. There you go, your top 10 most credible Filipino journalists and broadcasters. In a time when disinformation spreads faster than the truth, these 10 names remind us that real journalism still matters, built on integrity, intellect, and an unshakable commitment to the facts. If you enjoyed this ranking and want to see more stories that celebrate truth, excellence, and national pride, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to FunFact, your channel for smart, fact-based storytelling that inspires and informs. Because in the end, credibility is not claimed, it's earned, story after story.